Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome to that Sunday morning, early morning show. And welcome to my channel, the channel that has the most unoriginal name in the whole wide world. Why, you may ask? Because if I made something fancy, I probably couldn't remember what the heck I called myself. This morning we're listening to Stereolab. This is, you think I can still remember this, Emperor Tomato Ketchup. Emperor Tomato Ketchup came out in 1996, and we'll talk a little bit about Stereolab in just a minute. Busy time right now in my house. My wife is a twin, and so her sister came down to visit for a couple of weeks, along with her younger sister and along with a friend. So now I've got a house full of women, nothing wrong with that, messing around. The problem is this: my wife, Patty, and her sister, twin, Paula, decided to get the exact same haircut, the exact same coloring done. I can't tell who. I mean, after 36 years of marriage, you would think I could tell my wife. Oh my goodness. Oh, they look the same. It's awful. It's all, you know, you have to wait for someone to talk. Yeah, because they do talk differently. And I need someone who's like, they come, who is it? What can I say? What can I say? Oy, oy, oy. So it's been an interesting dynamic as we're trying to figure all this out. It'll be hell wherever they go. So they've never done this. If they dress up the same and don't talk, I am one screwed guy. Really. All right. Enough of that. Let's begin. And this week we're going to start with, you're here, Stereolab. I just picked this up in vinyl. So this is Stereolab, and this is their singles. And these are the singles that they put out in the beginning of the aughts. Stereolab is a group of two, Tim Gain and Latia Sadier. I'm probably messing that up, okay? Their music, if you had to classify it, it's like if you took a marriage of krautrock and married it with 60s pop. Yet the vocals are mesmerizing, but they're all in French. I don't speak French, so I really don't understand. But from what I hear, actually, you know, the lyrics sound very kind of sweet in this 60s poppy sound, but they're very Marxist. So kind of interesting on there. You know, they really were big in the 90s, but they still made stuff into the odds. They still be making things, you know, I'm not positive. They've done a number of different soundtracks, but I've always enjoyed this group. So this came out, this is their singles that came out from, this is volume 2. I believe it was like 1991 to 1995. Interesting now. So this is an interesting album. Look at this. Okay. So we have a thing, so we have the sheet, a thing, there that tells what it is, the songs are, the albums, and that's it. That's it. This, and it's on clear vinyl. It is like, you know, these guys are conscious, environmentally conscious and everything, so they use recycled paper. They did not make a gatefold. It's very inexpensive that way. I'm going to say they're trying to save the planet and not being cheap. That's what I'm going to say. But it's a wonderful album. Really enjoying this thing. A lot of great hits. As you said, you know, I have it playing right now on the stereo. Not this particular one. So very accessible, nice music to listen to. I won't talk a lot about this because everyone's been showing it already, but you know, the new Third Man recordings came out, and it's a 3-album set, and one album's white, one's a blue, and one's black, which is really neat. There's pictures in here, you get a flag. Now I do enjoy the Third Man, you know, being part of that group, because the packaging and things that they do is just top notch. It really is. It's really good quality things. You know, if you don't like Jack White, being part of that Third Man group would really suck, because you're going to get a lot of Jack White's things. If you love them, it's great. And so, oh, it's freebies, but you can see that on a lot of channels, so I won't waste your time today on that. All right, next let's pop into Pink Fairies, all right? The Pink Fairies. Buzz Freakouts from 1970 to 1971. So the Pink Fairies, when they formed, there was 3 members of a group called the Deviants, and you know, they were, I believe, kind of like an English pub rock type band. So these 3 members, you know, the Deviants kind of broke up. They got their name because the manager of the Pink Fairies, he wrote a book. He wrote a book. It was called Pink Fairies Motorcycle Club. And not the manager of he was the manager of the Deviants, so he wrote Pink Fairies Motorcycle Club. They liked that name, so they go, well, let's just call ourselves the Pink Fairies. Well, good for you. Now, Pink Fairies had a credo, and it was, trying to think here. Yeah, it was free music, use lots of drugs, and anarchy. That was their credo. That was what Pink Fairies were about. This here, it's radio broadcast. It has a demo called, you know, from Do It, which was, you know, they really liked the record company, then they didn't put it on the album for whatever reason, and then they have some different radio broadcasts. This also came out with a free CD that has, you know, a full album on there also. I didn't know anything really much about the Pink Fairies. I've just seen this in my record store for a long time. I kept telling the manager, someday I'm going to buy it. So I went in and said, well, today's someday. Congratulations, I'm buying that Pink Fairies. It was a good listen. I liked it. You know, some of the, you know, it's like psych, blues, that kind of music. You know, some that I have a hard time with. You know, I'm trying to get it and understand it all. But this one I really enjoyed. So, Pink Fairies. All right, here was one. I'll just take it out. Love that artwork. Quicksilver. This is Quicksilver. Is the name of the album, name of the group, Quicksilver. Quicksilver Messenger Service. You know, in 1967 in San Francisco, you know, the whole big thing was album-oriented rock. Album-oriented albums. It's not about the hits. And Quicksilver was part of that group. Isn't that really neat stuff? You know, I kind of want to find another one, just kind of hang one of these up. Quicksilver had some cool covers. Well, all the record companies came down. They were snapping up people. You know, they were buying, you know, Jefferson Airplane, Grateful Dead, all these groups. And then along comes Capitol. And Capitol, they kind of come in, and they're a Capitol label, and they go, well, this sucks. All the good groups are taken, but, well, what's this group over here? Hey, we're called Quicksilver. All right, you want to be part of our label? And they became part of the label because Capitol they were late to the party, folks. So they got Quicksilver. Nothing wrong with that. It's a really good group. There's a lot of good stuff. I have one CD of theirs, Happy Trails, I believe. So the artwork just caught me on this one. This is a really accessible, easy listen. It's actually a very upbeat album on here, and they do some really nice guitar solos. There was a song on here, and it's called I Found Love. Really nice play. I really enjoyed this. It was a great album. Nice listening, nothing complicated, nothing really spaced out, tripped out, or weird. So, Quicksilver, I now have something in album form on there. Kind of folk rock type of music. And the Guess Who. Yes, I still bought some Guess Who. This one is Rockin' the Guess Who, and this is from, I believe, 1972. Randy Bachman had left. It's just on basic RCA there. Dynaflex. And anything special on this one? No, it was a decent album. I'm kind of wearing out on the Guess Who. I'm getting through the stuff. What I'm finding is, you know, mid-70s on up, I'm not liking it as much. Again, super big in Canada. Some of these, there's a couple hits, I believe, on here from Canada. It did well. I mean, it's not bad. But then I also got this one. This was a live album, Best of Guess Who. And this came out in 1983. It brought back Cummings and Randy Bachman. So they came back to do this concert and actually do a tour. And I was really excited when I heard about that because I really like Randy Bachman. I've always enjoyed his guitar playing. So I was kind of interested to hear this. And I was super disappointed. There we go. I was super disappointed. I thought Randy's Bach was just, he didn't sound inspired whatsoever. On American Woman, it just sounded sloppy. It wasn't precise. It didn't have the power, the oomph that I was looking for. And so, I just kind of, I was pretty disappointed. They had that other live album I showed, and that was back in '73. That was their first live album. That was really good. That thing just roared. And this thing I thought was a little more subdued. They do Clap for the Wolfman on here. I have that 45. That's the main reason I bought it. Is I had to Clap for the Wolfman. Wolfman Jack is not on it. Really wasn't that great. So, okay. I got a couple more guests too, but I'm about done unless I can find their 60s stuff. Had this come in this week. The Cramps, one in live at Clutch Cargo, and this is Detroit in 1982. This is a French, from France, so everything's written in French. So I would like to read it to you, but my French is non-existent, so I will not. Just a live album. The drums on here was not Nick Knox. He was sick, so Terry Grams, and I believe he's from the Gun Club, came in and played drums on this album. Huge Cramps fan, so I saw this. It's on Bump Records. I was excited. I picked it up. Just more of the same, live, a different concert. And I bought this one here, The Smell of Female, but this is a little different. This is the Real Men's Guts versus Smell of Female Volume 2. Again, this is a live album from 1983 in New York City. This is from Russia, a Russian pressing of this, so that just made it interesting in itself. Again, more of the same in 83. They're doing your main, things. You got Goo Goo Muck, New Kind of Kick on here. You got Good Taste, TV set, Sunglasses at Night. Nothing earth-shattering. Just, I like the Cramps. All right, here we got a Grail. You want to see a Grail? I'll show you a Grail. That Olivia Newton-John, Have You Ever Been Mellow? Yay! All right. I don't see anybody really showing Olivia Newton-John. I do not own physical, so don't even think about it. But this one here, all right, why I bought Olivia Newton-John's Have You Ever Been Mellow? Now, this was made in 1975, and I had the 45. And I guess the day I went to the Five and Dime store, I was feeling a little mellow, and I was just thinking, boy, have I ever been mellow? And I picked that up. That's the story I'm going with. I do like that song. She was in a country rock phase right now. She hadn't got into her soft rock, though, she is the queen of soft rock. It's interesting on here is a lot of songs are written by John Denver. Now, the producer, John Farrar, he actually wrote Have You Ever Been Mellow, and then he produced the album for her. But Rick Nelson has songs on here. Again, John Denver. There's Marvin on here. Lee Hazelwood's on here. So just a variety of different things. Have You Ever Been Mellow? The Queen of Soft Rock, Olivia Newton-John. Have You Ever Been Mellow? Have You Ever Tried? I can't remember the rest of it. All right, Van Morrison. This was from 1983. It's the one album I did not have from the 80s. I think now I pretty much got him totally from the 70s through the 80s into the 90s. This was interesting. When I first put it on, I didn't like it. And it's called the Inarticulate Speech of the Heart. The reason why I didn't like it is the synthesizers. It was, wow, Van Morrison, there's synthesizers. I thought it was kind of messing the whole thing up, and I didn't like that kind of sound. But I've listened to it a few more times. It's really, this is when he really began to bring in his Irish roots. And there's some really interesting music on here that deals with his Irish roots. And it's the transforming as he's going into more Celtic type music. And you can hear it underneath the synthesizers. You can hear this stuff going on. So suddenly I began to enjoy it more. It's also, this has just a lot of instrumental music. I think 4 tracks on here are purely instrumental. And You know, he called it inarticulate speech of the heart because he did not want to articulate through words. He wanted to articulate through the music. Well, maybe he did that. So tough at first. After a couple repeated listenings, I do like it. In 1983 was Van Morrison. Anything special on a label? Nope. Basic Warner Brothers. All right. Now, if you ever notice, if you watch this, I'll start kind of rock, then I'll go into another thing, or maybe world, then I go into jazz. That's because if you don't want rock, well, hey, you can take that little line right through the video. There's the jazz. Let's see what he has. All right. I do that for you. So you don't have to, you don't want to sit through the whole thing, you don't have to. Jaluka. All right. Jaluka. Jaluka means sweat in Zulu. So the person who started this band, his name was Saifo Makunu. Saifo Makunu. There is no way I'm saying that right, but we're sticking with that pronunciation. Forgive me, Saifo, if you're watching. All right. He named, so Jaluka means sweat, which basically was Saifo's, the name of their bull. So, named after his bull. In 1969, a 16-year-old Johnny Clegg, remember Johnny Clegg and Savuka, he met an 18-year-old Saifo Makunu and challenged him to a guitar contest. And they had that guitar contest and they became great friends. And they began to form a band. So here we have a white man and a black man in South Africa in the early 70s doing music together. Shall we say that wasn't a very popular thing to do? This is probably one of the biggest apartheid bands that made kind of a difference, really a lot about politics, banned all over the place. You know, no one would let them play or listen because of, you know, their lyrics. It started in 76 is when their first album went, and they continued to play till 1985. Then Jaluka broke up and Johnny Clegg went on to form Johnny Clegg and Savuka. So interesting, you know. This was the 1984 album, this one here, and I always should say the name. Stand Your Ground is the name. If you listen to Paul Simon's Graceland, and you hear this, you can hear a lot of the same type of music. I mean, it's really, you know, he went to South Africa to get this vibe. This is where a lot of the vibe came from. Listen to, if you get a chance to listen to some Jaluka, and then listen to that Graceland, you'll see that. So great album, just for the importance history-wise, what it had with apartheid and everything, and how Johnny Clegg got started. Well, wouldn't it be fun to show some more South African music? I agree, so let's do that. Ladysmith, Black Mazambo. Mambazo, Ladysmith, Black Mambazo. I'll let you just figure out that title because I'm not going to be able to do that. All right. So these guys formed in the around 1960, but their leader, Joseph Shabalua, again, I apologize. In 1964, he had a dream, and it was a series of dreams in which he dreamed of a band or a group that would get together and have perfect harmony, and they would make the songs that would uplift people. That was his dream. And along came Ladysmith, Black Mambazo. So Ladysmith is the town where Joseph was from. Black is, he had a black ox, okay? Jaluka means sweat because it was named after the guy's ox. He had a black ox. Mambazo, it means axe in Zulu. And the reason why axe was they were going to chop up the competition. Not in a bad way, as far as in contests. In 1976, they found Christianity. Joseph became Christian. And so the music changed into, you know, more hymns. And that's what this is. Now, I would never know his hymns until at the end of every song they go, Amen. Hey, that's a hymn, all right. You know, I'm a preacher's kid. I know that crap. But this, the vocals, it was beautiful. It was tight. It was gorgeous. Such a nice listen. Just relax. You know, it's nice. They do put the English lyrics along with the Zulu lyrics are on here. So if you want to sing along in English, or if you want to sing along in Zulu, you can do that. I personally did not. But wonderful music. I've had a couple of their CDs. Of course, Paul Simon again used these guys. Everyone knows that. Super album. Really happy to find that thing, and it's on the Shanchi label, Shanchi Records. I don't know. That's kind of neat. Hey, what was this one on? What was Yaluka on? Oh, Warner Brothers. Whoop-de-doo. All right. All right. Next, some Zydeco. RG and the Bayou Zydeco. Okay. RG and the Bayou Zydeco. This came out in 1988. RG played for Rockin' Dupsy, guitar player for Rockin' Dupsy, and he was a guitar player for Buckwheat Zydeco, along with some other different Zydeco bands. So he put out this album of Zydeco music, and it's on Tacoma. It's okay, Zydeco. You know, I love Zydeco. It's upbeat, very fast paced. Did it blow me out of the water? No, it didn't, but let's go okay. All right, how about some jazz? Red Garland's piano. Hey, come on here. There we go. Prestige. Red Garland. This is a trio with Paul Chambers and Art Taylor. And this one was made, I think, 1957. So Red Garland, one sec here, piano player. You know, he's really known, he's known for a lot of things, but, you know, he played for Miles Davis on the Prestige recordings, you know, smoking, cooking, relaxing, all that. Miles Davis heard about him because Red Garland in the 1940s, he was born in 1923, so, you know, by the 40s, he's in his 20s. He was a boxer, and he did boxing. And he actually boxed Sugar Ray Robinson, not Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson in a fight. Well, Miles Davis was a boxer. He did boxing. He loved boxing. So when he heard about this, Red Garland was a boxer too, he said, come on, be in my band. And so, you know, because they had, you know, that, you know, they could talk about. So Red Garland joined him. Now, Garland, you know, he started as a sax player, clarinet player, and he went over and began playing piano. What I also found fascinating on Red Garland is the type of piano playing he did. And he used what's called block chords. So a block chord is, on the left hand, you play 4 notes. On the right hand, you only play 3 notes. And you're 1 octave apart on these. So the left hand, as it's playing, instead of it's doing its own thing, it's kind of following the rhythm of the melody on the right hand. It makes a whole different kind of thing. Red Garland was really good at this block style of piano playing. Is that too much info? It may be too much info. For me, I found it just kind of fascinating. This is just a really nice, it was a quiet piano. You could, music here, it was fun to listen to him play. I do not own any stuff of just Red Garland. But I know of him. You know, he played into the 60s. Eventually, he retired out in the 60s because rock music was taken over. He says, screw it, man. You know, this isn't any fun anymore. So he quit recording. But then, you know, later on, he started up. You know, when you look at jazz catalogs, you know, you just see, you know, they'll produce 3-4 albums in 1 year. It's really kind of crazy. But, yeah, nice listen. Another Miles Davis here. Miles Davis, this came out in 1964. Miles 4 and More. This was live recordings from the Philharmonic, I believe. This is a 1970s pressing, so obviously not an original. You know, the nice, you know, Miles Davis, you know, even the slower songs are faster on here, you know, as they get going. But to hear his concerts is just wonderful, because they do change and they're always different as they go different ways in their solos. So as I just pursue more Miles Davis, I was happy to find that one. How about this one? Count Basie Band of Williams with Joe Williams and Dizzy Gillespie at Newport, and that is on the Verb label. Just 60s concert. Joe Williams is a singer, so you know it has more of the big band vibe with the lead singer. It was okay to listen to. It wasn't my favorite Count Basie on there. I just like more of the actual swing and not so much all the vocals, but this on Verb, that's nice. And finally, Swedish Jazz. I know you're saying, it's about time you got some Swedish Jazz, Steve. We've been waiting to see that. Isn't that a cheesecake label there? All right, so this is by Paul Hindberg. Paul Hindberg went over with a dance band in 1954 to Sweden and began to play, and for whatever reason, the Swedes really dug the way Paul played. So Paul said, I'm staying in Sweden. So he did, and he began doing records there. Paul was a clarinetist, and this came out in 1957. Swedish Jazz. Is there a difference between Swedish jazz and American jazz? I'm sure there is. I didn't like it as much, but I don't think that's the difference. This album, and whoever had this album, they loved it. Holy moly, this thing was beat the heck. It's like someone was using it to do scratching and that. I've used it for a rap record. I don't know, but it was all over. But it still plays. A little snap, crackle, pop going on, but not bad. So I just saw that Swedish Jazz. Because of my Swedish roots, I figured I better have that because my dad would be proud of it. So I do now have that. So there we go. All my albums for the week. Reminder, we got that contest going on till the first weekend of November. There's 18 entries. They're all wonderful. If you haven't had a chance to look at some of them, please do, because it's super interesting, the stories that everybody tells about music that makes them happy. You're really enjoying that. I don't have a lot, kind of slowing down on some of this buying because I want to do some different kind of things on there. I appreciate everyone tuning in once again on an early morning Sunday. I know I'm late today because the ladies made me stay up late to play a game. I had to leave my record room, but I'm back in my record room again, so all is good. Everyone have a wonderful Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm looking forward to talking next week to you. Bye.